Wednesday, July 7th, 2021, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So, a very highly controversial subject, cryptocurrencies or gold. Well, central bankers apparently still prefer gold, and that's according to a survey done by UBS. And the story's just come out a few hours ago in the FT, and it says central bankers see limited role for crypto in reserve operations. Officials expect at least one key central bank to launch its own coin in next 5 years, survey says. So before I start, I'd like to say that I have been covering cryptocurrencies since I started this channel in early 2016. I do have exposure to cryptos. I don't have much Bitcoin, but I have other altcoins. I have a private fund in cryptocurrency called Bitcoin Capital 3 with Bank to the Future. But I've always preferred gold and silver as reserve assets, as many of you know. So there's been a lot of people who think that central banks will move ultimately to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as reserve assets, as fiat currencies lose more and more of their credibility and value. But this survey doesn't seem to show that. So we'll go over this story quickly here. It was, as I said, written and published about 6 hours ago. It says central bankers are skeptical that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will supplant gold as a safe store of value, but are upbeat on the prospects for official digital tokens as authorities grapple with how to respond to the crypto boom. Almost 85% of reserve managers say they do not expect cryptocurrencies to replace the precious metal in their foreign currency reserves, according to an annual UBS survey of 30 leading central banks. Am I saying I like central banks and I think they know everything? Of course not, but I'm just trying to point out to people that central bankers still see gold as the major reserve asset. More than a quarter of respondents said Bitcoin and its peers had investment potential as uncorrelated assets that do not move in tandem with other markets. But 57% of officials said they did not expect cryptocurrencies to have a meaningful impact on their reserve operations, according to UBS. So it does look like some of them do expect cryptocurrencies to have some meaningful impact, because 57% is not a huge percentage, I have to admit. The cautious sentiment among central bank officials comes as the cryptocurrency industry has boomed in recent years and prompted official institutions to more seriously consider how to regulate these assets and to what extent they should play a role in their operations. Many cryptocurrency advocates view digital tokens as a way of preserving the value of their savings at a time when central banks around the world have launched massive stimulus programs to combat the pandemic, which has prompted fears of a period of higher inflation. I would add that they've been doing this massive stimulus, monetary stimulus, ever since '08, and even since 1971, I would say. However, the intense volatility of many coins has kept large swaths of mainstream investors away from the asset class and has eroded its appeal as a store of value, according to investors and analysts. While central bank officials have doubts over private cryptocurrencies, they're growing more certain over the prospect for official coins or central bank digital currencies. Well, they won't be decentralized, of course, because they'll be created by central banks. But you have to wonder whether they'll back that by their precious metals, reserves, especially gold, of course. About 60% of central bank reserve managers polled by UBS said they expected at least one G7 central bank to make digital currencies directly available to consumers within the next half decade. More than 80% said they expected wholesale central bank coins, which would be made available to large financial institutions to launch over the period. The officials said two of the key motivations for pursuing central bank digital currencies was to enhance the retail payment system and upgrade the broader financial infrastructure, including key functions such as clearing and settlement. They also said the central bank coins could help reduce crime and money laundering, according to UBS. So their goals are completely different than the people in the crypto space. And personally, I would rather be in the private crypto market than in the central bank digital currency market. Unless, of course, they back their digital currencies by precious metals. But that's very doubtful, and I still wouldn't trust them. China is one of the world's leaders in central bank-backed tokens, with its digital yuan already in a trial stage at a time when key central banks elsewhere are only exploring similar projects. In traditional financial markets, reserve managers flagged high debt levels in the global economy as a key risk, as well as a failure to put an end to the pandemic. The study also highlighted the continuing rise in the share of the Chinese renminbi in reserves, which Massimiliano Castelli, one of the authors of the UBS report, said could hit up to 15% of holdings in the next decade. So there you go. So I thought that was an interesting survey and article, and also interesting for the fact that central bankers still view gold as the ultimate store of value and not Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. And I will agree with the central bankers for once on that. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below. I wish you all a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye.